Michael,
Yeah, baby. Good morning.
so can you hear me?
I can indeed.
Awesome.
How are you?
I'm good.
That's been a very bunkerish looking podcast today. I'm in the bunker.
Are you? Well, I've been up since 6 putting this together because was everything was messed up.
Are
But
you just
I
waiting
did,
for another pay raise? What do you do? I
I did get us an opportunity to get some coffee in here.
I got the apparently I got the wrong coffee.
No Hissy Fits Zone cup.
You button down shirt. You're really taking this to the next level. I like it.
Oh yeah.
Oh sure.
Oh sure. And then I got two jump drives, so we're gonna put it on jump drives too. At this point,
Oh nice.
people can watch it on YouTube, or they can buy the podcast on the jump drive.
Mm.
$119 each episode.
Oh, it's nice. A little cheap.
Well, it's I'm not even charging for postage either.
Free shipping.
Free shipping.
Well, I'm in
Okay.
the bunker because we have guests upstairs, and as you know, it's a fairly small cottage.
Yeah.
So to keep his sisters in town from Canada, and we are attending a law school graduation today for the Keepa's son, Derek. Very
Canada.
exciting.
Canada, huh?
Yeah.
You should bring
So
it. Should bring her down and put her on a podcast, eh?
he was trying. But I put a stop to that, and I came down the stairs to the bunker, to the
The
to the drum room. Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is. Nice. Wow.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. Not sure I like that light behind me. I'm gonna stand in front of that light. How's that? Any better? Oh, there it is. Wow. Last Friday.
Now, what do you hear there?
Sounds like either static or a lot of rain.
It's supposed to be applause.
I figured it was trying to be applause. It just didn't quite come off like it.
I know. So we gotta kick that out. Forget it.
So listen to this. Last week, Friday night, it was a week ago last night, I told you about the country jam I was doing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Nate Ramos band. This kid's going places. And I say kid because these two guys are really young. But as I said, they couldn't find a drummer. They needed a drummer for one night. And I met him 7 weeks ago. They texted me 53 songs set list to learn, and I had some time available. Monday afternoons are usually pretty okay for me, and these guys are both full-time musicians at night. So we were getting together Mondays. They'd be here at 1 o'clock. We'd be set up and playing by 1:30, and they wouldn't leave till after 9. And we did that Monday after Monday after Monday, getting ready for last Friday night show. And it was awesome. So this club was capitalizing on, there was a big country concert next door at the DCU Center in Worcester, which is like the big arena, 13,000 seats. This guy sold it out, and Zach Bryan sold it out like in 3 hours. So the club knew these two guys, AJ and Nate, who both play there, the acoustic guys in the corner. And they said, let's capitalize on these 13,000 country fans next door. And so we were going to do a pre-concert and a post-concert gig. So we're playing from like 4:30 till 7, and then again from 10:30 till 1. And we were selling tickets only for the nighttime. The afternoon was free, which is quite frankly when all my friends came. They're like 4:30 to 7, I'll come to that. At 10:30, we're in bed. I'm like, well, I'm not, really wild about it myself, but I gotta go. So, but that night, I've never played music in front of that many people. That night, well, I'll start with the afternoon. It was really fun. The room was gorgeous. I'm not sure if I sent you any pictures or not, but wow.
Yeah, I saw some of it. It was good.
This place is called Off the Rail in Worcester, and holds a lot of people. And
Hey,
at the very back of the room is the bar. There's a bunch of, 4 or 5 guys back there with like the backwards baseball caps and the t-shirts. And I don't know if they're going to the concert next door or not, but to see them like kind of bop into your music and then singing every word to every song, because we were basically doing country covers with and some pop covers and some of Nate's solo stuff. But it was fun to see the audience participate like that because, as you know, Stillface is an instrumental band. We don't get people singing our words.
Wow.
So it was fun. And went out to dinner with a couple of friends between the two gigs. And then the night came back, and the place, we sold 401 tickets. So there were 400 people in
Wow.
this club at the stage, dancing, singing, beers in the air. Crazy fun. It was, I couldn't believe how much fun I was having. I didn't expect to be that fun. Even the afternoon was that fun. It was great.
Wow, that's awesome.
There was they hired a videographer, and I was going to make the screen bigger here. And I just got last night emailed to me the video reel from it, so I'll send it to you. It was pretty fun.
So I'm starting to do some like magic stuff.
Mm,
You know the this thing right here, this poster with that thing.
yeah.
I want to see if maybe I can if I can do something here. Hold on now.
Oh, what are you going to do now?
Did it
Might
do
be a little
anything?
washed out. Oh, there you go. Huh? What was fun, I'll just continue. What was fun about playing at this club was there was this, a sound man, out on the floor, and he was miking my drums, and I got talking to him, and because he works for a sound company, so he works at this place. He works next door at the Palladium, which is a big kind of a metal club in Worcester, and he says I work at the Webster, and I said the Webster Theater in Hartford. He goes, yeah. And I had just bought tickets. I'm going to see Extreme down there on Friday, August 11th. I said I'm going to the Webster for my first time. So to see Extreme, I'm not sure if he's going to be working or not. Teddy, the sound man, he was awesome, a good dude. And so getting ready for the Extreme tour.
So you just made me realize that thing I wanted to talk to you about. Not talk to you about, but I was tell you about. Somebody had a video on Facebook of Nuno playing the guitar.
Yep.
It was taken from the Generation X, where he comes out and does his own thing, and he does that thing with the
Yeah.
metronome and the drum thing real fast, and he does the Flight of the Bumblebee or something.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah, but so what happens? He has a thing going in the sound, and he goes to play it, but he started and he messed up. Like he says, "Oh, wait, hold on." So then he's pretending like he's trying to figure out how to do the notes, right?
Yeah.
He goes, "Well, let me try that." So he messed up again. So he says, "What the heck?" And then he started. Of course, he played it and he played it like crazy. But it's like a compilation of those things that were he must have done that on stage a few times because the guy had whoever put the video up there had like a compilation of him messing up on purpose. It's funny.
It's funny you said. I was actually out in California for a music, I think it was for NAMM, which is a big music thing, and I was working for a amplifier company, so I attended this convention. A lot of free time. We're up, and of course, it's just nothing but musicians out there. And I saw Spinal Tap play live.
Yeah, wow.
It was a ton of fun, and part of their shtick was, they're always talking about Nigel Tufnell, who was the lead guitar player, played by Christopher Guest, as we know. But if you haven't seen the movie, my God, do yourself a favor. I've probably seen it 50 times. But literally, part of the shtick of the live concert was he couldn't play the guitar lead up to speed, up to tempo. So the whole band slowed the song down so he could play this note for note, and then they sped back up to the tempo. It was hysterical.
Well, he goes to them and he has the Washburn guitars,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, he had his own Randall amplifiers with his
Oh,
logo on it and everything.
really?
It's that
Oh,
too.
is that the Morning Windows logo on it?
No, no, this is like
I've seen that. I've seen him with the stack of amps, and he's got the Morning Widows logo on the front of the amp.
yeah, but this he has some amplifiers that are actually Nuno amplifiers from
Hmm,
Randall, and
interesting.
his brother-in-law in Australia is the one that him and the two of them put it together, and it looks like a old-fashioned radio or something, and the volume knob is like three times the size of the other knobs.
Huh,
So
that's
I
funny.
watched a video where he was doing that at a NAMM thing, whatever.
In fact, this amplifier company I was just telling you about, speaking of Spinal Tap, they had a new amp being released at that convention, and the volume knob went to 11. It went to it. They actually had to go to 11. I'm like, that's funny. This
Yeah.
is a company I could get behind this company. They got a sense of humor. One of the greatest rock and roll scenes in music ever. Hysterical.
I have a Line 6 amplifier.
Mm, those are nice.
It's the one with all these built-in, like all kinds of drum beats already you can pick out and stuff.
In the amp, really?
Yeah, and you can actually do looping and all that stuff. So when the first band that I started with the guys that I got to tell you a story about that too, but we didn't have a drummer, so I had my amplifier, and we played 3 gigs.
That's music to my ears. We don't have a drummer. I'm like,
hello. So what would happen is I'd find the beat for the song, and I'd write down the number because you can have all these numbers.
yeah.
But then that's when I was playing with the band that we called Tonal. What was it?
What was the name of that? Tonal. That was a great name, but now we both were so great we forgot it.
Tonal Dependency. I think it was
Tonal Dependency?
Dependency, yeah, something like that.
It was awesome. There's some very clever names out there.
Yeah, so the first 3 things that we did was all the drums was from the amp. Kind of cool, right?
I love it. That's awesome. And could you program it? I mean, drum machine sounds have come a long way. My only thing about those that I kind of said, I saw a bumper sticker once that said, drum machines have no soul, which is really true because the timing is so perfect that it feels, what's the word, too sanitized. You don't get a little bit of feel.
Yeah, but the thing is that the drums aren't not a little drum machine. It's a recorded drum in a studio that you can play. And there's like I think it's over 100 songs that are recorded in the studio by professional musicians, and then you can play along with the song. So if I want to play with BB King,
wow,
I can play with BB King, and I usually don't do it because I show him off a little too much, and he doesn't like it.
He doesn't like that.
No. So I have a good friend that I jam with sometimes, and he's an awesome blues guy. And then I had another guy that I used to jam with, so the 3 of us would get together and jam. But Chris moved to Pennsylvania, so within Fred now is in his own band, and I went to see him.
Who moves from Florida to Pennsylvania? When is that all?
I don't know. Oh, yes, his family. He has a bunch of nephews and stuff. Not nephews. I'm sorry.
It's gotta be the family or a job, one or the other.
Yeah, grandchildren. So he loves it. They were down here. So we went to see Fred's band. It's called Road Worn Blues Band.
Huh.
And so I took my my video thing, and I recorded the show, and I had to trim all the songs out and stuff. Really cool.
Nice.
Amazing.
It was funny. We had so the club we played at last Friday is called Off the Rails. Next door is the DCU Center. We got 13,000 country fans coming out of their concert. And the other side, going up the hill, right on Main Street in Worcester, is a club called the Palladium, which has a bit of like a metal theme. A lot of metal bands play there. So as our night was getting longer, we had country people flooding in one door for the DCU, and there was a band up at the Palladium called Wage War, which I guess is a pretty extreme metal band. And then we had people funneling in from that door who were walking with all black stuff and demonic pentagrams embroidered onto their jackets and all the metal thing. It was so fun. It was just a mix of people. It was a lot of fun. There's such an appetite out there for country music. So this guy, Nate Ramos, who we call, Nate Ramos Band, he's putting something together. This guy, it's special. He's got a bunch of original stuff. And he got another gig in that same room in a few weeks on a Friday night. There's an up-and-coming country guy named Travis Denning who's getting there, and Nate somehow got the warm-up slot for him. And he asked us to join him as a band versus just being an acoustic guy, because this guy's got a full band we're warming up for. So we're playing the same room again in 3 weeks on June 16th, warming up for a country act who's getting big. And we're just doing 8 or 9 of Nate's originals. So
nice.
It'll be a very different night. We're playing from like 7 to 7:45, and that's it. Get off the stage. But it'll be fun.
So the other day, I have a guitar that I don't play much. I usually play my Les Paul, but I had an acoustic guitar that I hadn't played in a long time. I pulled it out the other day and started messing around with it, and all of a sudden, talking about recall, the brain is it's an interesting thing.
Yes.
I just messed around with it, and all of a sudden, I started playing Hymn 43 from Jethro Tull. You know that song?
I can't get it. I would know it in a heartbeat. I'm not able to play it in my head.
Dun, 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 dun. You know that song? Yeah.
Yep, great tune.
I did that. I'm playing on the guitar, and I wasn't even thinking about that song. I was just messing around, and I played that, right? And I said, what the
Isn't that
heck? Where'd that come
crazy
from?
fun? Oh
Isn't that
my
crazy?
goodness. It's all in there.
So my brain used to be sexier than it is now, but I'm losing some of it. But
Still pretty sexy.
when I
Still
did that,
pretty sexy.
I was so amazed though. I was like, what the heck? Where did that come from?
Isn't that something?
I heard, I hit one note, and somehow it threw the whole song back into my mind. Boom.
I mean, in my speaking presentation, most of my theme is about how do we use the brain, how do we use our tools, our brain, to support us in our goals versus sabotage us. That's and there's 55 minutes behind that of a lot of fun and a lot of teaching, a lot of learning. But I tell people that everything we've ever done, every action, every thought, it's all stored, and we have all of it in the subconscious. It's amazing.
I have to apologize because I had your coffee for this morning and mine.
Oh.
So that's why you don't have yours, because I took it away from you.
How do you take your coffee?
How do I take it?
Very
well.
How do I take it? Repeatedly.
I like talk about coffee, by the way. I like a bold coffee. And
one that talks back?
Yeah. So I was at Starbucks with my friend Tom. We go there for, at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. We go for a coffee. You remember that shirt I did with the Oyster Bone logo upside down?
Yes.
Well, when Tom said that, he says, "Man, I need to get one of those." So I got him a shirt, right? So we went to the Starbucks this week, and he was wearing it.
The upside down one?
Yeah. So then I saw this guy that was over there. He seemed like he was happy. So I went over and said, "Hey, I just got a call from corporate. I'm supposed to show you my pride and joy." He goes, "What?" So I showed it to him, and he laughed like crazy. He says, "Man, that's so awesome." But then he saw Tom with his shirt. He goes, "Hey, Oyster Bone, I know Oyster Bone." I said, the one with the logo upside down or right side up. Goes, "Oh yeah, that one is upside down, isn't it?" I says, "Yeah." He says, "What's that deal with that?" I says, "Well, because I was the guy that started the band, and I was the guy that was with him for 10 years. But after that, we had an LSD problem." He said, "LSD problem? Yeah, lead singer disease problem."
Tell it to Van Halen.
Says, "I'm not in the band anymore." So he goes, "Wow, that's crazy." And he happens to know the first guy that I brought into the thing,
Right.
So he says, What did I tell John that I saw you and your friend with a upside down logo on a shirt?" I says, "Yeah, tell John, ask him if he misses me or if he even thinks about me anymore."
It's like, it reminds me of the satanic death metal bands that have the upside down cross. So there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
But Tom was all proud of himself and then it was kind of cool that guy knew. He didn't say upside down. He says, "Hey, Oyster Bone, I know Oyster Bone." We didn't even notice
That's
that.
so funny.
He didn't even notice that
it was upside down. Right.
Yeah, and I says,
oh my gosh.
"Yeah, but that logo was upside down." He goes, "Oh yeah, what's with that?" So then we started talking. It was funny.
That is funny that his brain flipped it. Didn't even notice it was upside down.
It's easy to read. Even upside down, it's easy to read.
Right. Wow.
Too much, huh?
What's going on this weekend? What do you have happening?
Well, today I gotta see if I can get a haircut because it's getting out of hand,
A haircut, or just I'd get them all cut. If you're going, get them all cut. But I'm bummed.
I'll tell you about the time I went to a haircut and the guy didn't want to listen to what I was telling him how to do my hair.
No.
It's a true story, but I was up showing property up in Tarpon Springs, and then when I was done, I needed a haircut, so I saw like a barber place or whatever. So I go in there, and I sit in the chair. And the guy puts the cape on me. So he says, "Listen, on this side of the hair here, I have a couple of cowlicks. So if you can't go too close, because then I won't be able to,
Right.
So he goes, "What do you do for a living?" said, I'm a realtor. He says, I know how to cut hair. Do I need to tell you what I need to tell you how to do real estate? I says, no, but if you wanted a one bedroom condo, I wouldn't show you a five bedroom house, right? So what's that supposed to mean? I says, I don't know. I'm trying to tell you what I want to do, and you don't want to listen, so I don't know what's going on. So he says, well, but I know how to cut hair. I says, I know, but I'm just telling you. So he's like arguing with me. He says, listen, I'm going to leave right now. You can take the cape off, or I'm going to walk away. He says, no, I'm going to cut your hair. I said, you're not going to cut my hair. I'm going to leave, so you can take the cape off, or I'm going to leave with the cape on, and I'm going to be driving down the city with my cape. So it's up to you. What do you want to do? So he's still being like arrogant. So I said, okay. So I get off the chair, and I started walking. So he goes, hold on. So he came over and took the cape off. I says, okay, man. Next time, if a client asks you what you wanted to do, you should probably listen. Maybe, I don't know. And I walked left.
I like that analogy though. Like if you're looking for a one-bedroom condo and I showed you a five-bedroom house, what would you say? You're not listening.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
You're not serving my needs.
So it was not a big deal, but I just thought it was. I don't know why he was rude like that. It was stupid.
They're out there. They're out there.
He must be rude in other situations as well, I'm sure.
I'm sure you were he had a yeah. As we used to hear in the old tapes, they'd say there's not a lot of them out there, but they move around a lot.
Move around. Yeah, I know what you mean.
We seem to run into them with some regularity. That's funny.
Wow.
Here.
So I looked up, going to Red Rocks, and
I saw the logo. I thought that we might be doing a live podcast from there.
I was trying to see what talent's got to come over. What I saw bare naked ladies or something. Oh yeah, look at that, huh? Wow, with a logo.
That's we're gonna have that there. Bare naked ladies. I think that's correct.
And then there was one band that's going to be playing there called Portugal the Man. I don't know what the heck that is. They have a couple of hits.
With all this technology, you can go right to YouTube and check them out.
Yeah, they have a couple. There's one hit that they have that's pretty big. I don't know.
Hits.
Portugal the Man, and they're from Alaska. So
what?
I don't know what that means.
Did you hear that? Did you hear the podcast? I'm not sure. I don't think I said it to you. Eddie Trunk was talking to Nuno. This was just a couple of months ago about the new album, and which is
hold on.
Take that on speakerphone. Answer that on speaker.
No,
who we got?
The caller ID was not nice for me, so I'm not going to talk to him.
That could be a buyer. So Eddie Trunk and Nuno are talking about the new album, which of course is called Six, and it's coming out in 2 weeks. First three singles are released. They're phenomenal. But before it was released, they were talking about the name of the album, and of course it's been 15 years. And of course the big joke back in the day was Guns N' Roses waited 15, to put their next album out, and they called it Chinese Democracy. So the time of this album, Nuno says, I was going to call it Portuguese Democracy. But I'm excited about these 3 tracks I'm listening to by those guys. I just checked so here's the album cover, matter of fact.
I know, but I was just going to say something about that. They had to pay me royalties because they put my photo on the album cover. That's not right.
There's rumors that they're going to release a 4th single before the whole thing comes live on June 9th, and it's called Other Side of the Rainbow. Some people have heard and they say it's an amazing kind of Gary Nuno ballad. I'm excited.
Those 3 songs that they released are awesome.
My goodness.
I actually thought about when Sammy Hagar did the thing, rock and roll road trip.
And that was a couple of years ago, and he's hearing this, and he's like, "This is amazing." And now it's fun to think about what was he hearing that we're now hearing, right? Because
he was saying, "This is different. This is the best stuff you guys have done."
Yeah,
he was like very, very impressed with it.
You can hear their evolution, into 2023. But so it's them, but it's also new. It's kind of cool. That can't be easy to do unless it just comes naturally.
So my friend and I, Tom, the guy that had the shirt with the logo upside down.
Your Starbucks buddy?
Yeah, so I've been, he's the guy that, remember you asked one time about, he's the one, the friend for life. Remember that thing? So,
yes. Great story.
He started taking some guitar lessons, but then he decided he wanted to do the bass lessons, so he bought a bass, and he's been playing the bass more. So he
Hmm.
comes over here once in a while, and then I teach him a couple of things. I'm not a bass player, but I can show him some things on a bass. But he sits over there and he's sitting down playing. I said, "Listen, Tom, this is bullshit. If you really want to have the energy to play, you have to stand up. You can't be sitting down. What's the matter with you? You look at me like I'm crazy." And of course I am, but so what?
I saw, speaking of sitting down, did you see that? So I guess Nuno really hurt his knee on that cruise ship.
Yeah.
But there was video of them playing on the cruise ship, and he's just sitting down, and he got crutches. But then they just canceled another concert last week, the big M3 one down in Maryland, and I didn't play because of Nuno's injury. So this is significant.
So he was saying, I watched the video where he's saying that one of his songs made Steve Vai in his name Lukather. What's his name?
Steve Lukather
Yeah. He says that
from
song,
Toto.
yeah, that song made those two guys have tears in their eyes.
Which one?
He says he didn't say what it was. He says one of the songs, but
Oh,
he did say that the others, the songs that they really like, that they've seen the videos of, they really liked it because I was not sitting down when I played it. Too much, huh?
oh man. Well, it's gonna be fun. And so my buddy Joe. Oh, so Joe last night, JD and the Retro Riders warmed up for John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band.
Wow.
For those guys. So JD and the Retro Riders warmed up for them. And Joe's got tickets to go. I've been sharing Extreme's new music with him, and he's got tickets to go see them out in California 2 weeks before I see him in Hartford. He was joking with me saying, "I'll tell you how it is." Because I already know how it's going to be. Amazing.
I know, but I'm not happy that they're not coming over here to Florida. I haven't seen it
No
yet.
dates down there yet, huh? I was also seeing, I think a lot of bands, like one of my favorites, as you know, King's X, they have a new album out last year and they're touring and they're doing like, 8 or 9 dates at a time. That's what they're letting us know online. And so they just posted some other tour dates coming up and they're like down through southeast and they're coming up and they just cut right across to Ohio and they left all of New England out.
Wow.
I said, "This is my favorite. I've seen these guys 15 times. I can't wait to go see them again, but they got nothing local yet. So we'll see."
I think it was the last time when Mike Mangini was playing with Extreme.
Oh wow, that's a while ago.
Yeah, and I saw him three times in 1 week. I saw him in St. Petersburg, I saw him in Ybor City, and then in Sanford, Florida.
Wow,
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
that must have been their the Waiting for the Punchline tour, which was their last album of the 4 in succession before they took a hiatus and found Kevin Figueredo on drums.
Yeah, because Mangini was on.
Oh, he's a monster. Oh, monster drummer. Of course, he's with Dream Theater today. I mean, there's nobody. There are very few drummers who are as technically amazing as he is.
You saw those videos of the auditions for the drummer, didn't you?
For Dream Theater, that was really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, they really capitalized on that nicely. Mike Portnoy left after 20 years, and they had just enough angst in the video, like they showed, like, yeah, this guy screwed us kind of deal. And I don't know, it seems like for me, he took the higher road, like, hey, I'm just going to go do some other stuff. And they kind of made it sound like it was very contentious, which I think fueled the interest because then they had those auditions for a drummer, and they had five or six of the best drummers in the world come into audition for
They
that.
came from Europe. They came from all over the place to audition for that.
Amazing.
And
And I guess it's all on YouTube now, but it was a three episode series, like 45 minutes apiece. It was really, really well done. And to see, the personal side when they're coming to their hotel rooms and the band had gifts for them, and then to see the actual like in the studio footage was just, as a musician, it was fascinating to watch and see how they did this. And Mike Mangini was the first one in, he just crushed it. And he's from Boston, so
yeah,
in
Mangini
sense, in terms of my buddy Marco believes that in terms of, certainly Mangini was the closest fit for them, but he thought it had something to do with the fact that he lives so close. In terms of their travel plans, all the other guys are international. Could have been a problem.
So Marco
But
called me the other day. He says, "Hey Tony, do you think should I start singing too?" I said, "Yeah, go for it." No, he didn't call me. I'm just saying that. I'm just making that up.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That is funny. Funny, he and I were just having some conversations around that video about the drummer auditions. What we would like to have seen. Like, wouldn't it be fun to hear Dream Theater with this drummer and see where that would have taken them?
So,
Interesting.
so for those that might not know, Marco was the guitar player for Stillface, your band.
Yes.
The one up when I went up there when you guys were playing at the side gig, and
Yeah.
I didn't know who he was, but I was talking to him, and I could tell by his accent that he was not.
Oh God, this is a funny story.
So I was talking to him, and then you and Greg, is it
Who?
Greg, the bass player?
Oh, Barry.
Barry, yeah. You and Barry came over, and I says, "Hey, Marco and I having a private conversation. You guys can either walk away, or we're gonna talk in a different different language." So you guys say, "Huh?" I started speaking Portuguese to Marco, and now we're talking Portuguese. I said, "See, you guys can either walk away, or you're not gonna know what we're talking about anyway. So it's up to you." That was so
That
funny.
was funny. And
Yeah.
I walked up on you guys. Of course, I was the only common thread. You guys are talking Portuguese, and I walk in. I'm like, I'm not sure I like this. You guys talking about me?
That's funny, isn't it?
Wow,
So I have
that
this
was
thing where
fun.
when things come up with languages, I say, "Listen, I speak four languages: English, Portuguese, Spanish, and profanity." And then if they laugh, I said, "Why? You want me to effing prove it?" But I say like, with the enthusiasm, it's funny as heck.
Oh, that is funny.
Wow.
Well, he's like you. He grew up speaking Portuguese, his first language in a home, and then I don't know how much English he learned before he came to the States. I don't know that story like I know yours, but of course you came to the States from two different directions. He kind of came north, and you kind of came west. But go west, young man. Wow.
When I first came over, I was 10 years old, and so
But you didn't know any English, did you?
well, the first week I learned one word that was awesome. Okay.
That was the first word you learned when you. Okay. So no matter what anybody said to you in English, you just say, okay.
I've had sometimes people say, "Man, it's got to be tough to learn a different language." I said, "No, it's not that tough. It's not a big deal. It's just you can learn a language." Says I speak four of them, and I go through that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. I think I told you one time when I moved to Phoenix, I worked at the Sperry Rand Avionics.
Yeah.
So I was like in quality control. So there's three of us in a room, and I introduced myself the first day, and one guy's they're having a conversation. I knew right away something was kind of freaky about it because one guy was speaking Spanish, he was like Mexican or whatever, and the other guy speaking Italian, but they're having a conversation. And I realized I was understanding 60% of what they were saying. So I was kind of, I didn't know at first if they're just being rude if they didn't speak English well. Well, I'm not sure
Right.
what it was.
Right.
That's about the third day. They're talking about something, and he was speaking Italian, he was speaking Spanish, and I was understanding the whole thing. So I chimed in with Portuguese, and they both looked at me like this. And all of a sudden, we were talking three different languages, and we could probably understand about 50 to 60% of it. It was amazing.
That is amazing.
Because,
I've always thought Portuguese and Spanish were somewhat close, but I didn't know Italian was in there, but that
well,
makes
yeah,
sense.
it's the Latin languages, so Italian, Portuguese, Spanish, and French.
Right.
And Romanian. Oh, Romanian's the other one.
Hmm.
So Terry was one time she used to work in cosmetics, and she was doing a presentation for a lady, and the lady had a friend with her, and she went to buy the package, but the lady was saying, "Hey," in Romanian, she was saying, "Don't waste your money, this and that, whatever." So Terry was understanding what she was saying. She goes, "Now, why would you want your friend not to get this stuff if she really thinks she needs this and it's good for her? Why would you want to deny her
Not
from
to get.
that?" And the lady was like, "Ooh, like, how does she
How'd you know what
know?"
I was? How'd you know what I was saying?
I know that's what it was. Yeah, it's funny as heck.
That's funny.
Yeah, phew, craziness.
So Where did Terry grow up?
Lisbon, Portugal.
Oh, so was she already here when you came? States?
No, no.
So she came after you.
Yeah. Huh.
And how old was she?
I don't know. I think maybe 14 or something.
Oh, so it's a few years after you got here. Okay.
So then I knew the family stuff, but I didn't. It didn't. Terry has an aunt that's 1 year older than her.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I
Took me
used
a
to,
second. You see my brain kind of do like, wait a minute.
so I actually used to hang around with her aunt before I knew Terry.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, and that's something.
So she must be towards the younger side of a big family, and an older sibling had a
Yeah,
daughter
yeah, yeah,
a year before Terry was born. Wow.
yeah, yeah, and that's something.
I remember talking to my dad. My dad's family, he grew up in Ireland and he hopped on a boat and came to the United States in 49. And his mother, my grandmother, was the youngest of 13. So the oldest of that 13 was my dad's aunt, Emily. I knew her as Aunt Em. She lived in New York City. And my dad was offered to stay there when he came to get settled, and so I said to him, wow, so you got on this boat, you're 23 years old, you probably never even met this aunt. And he goes, no, neither had my mother. And I thought he doesn't know what he's talking about. But what he was saying was when that Aunt Em left Ireland, my grandmother wasn't born. They had never met, these sisters.
Wow.
And my dad came to America and met her. And of course, the story you always told was that he came for 3 months and he stayed 75 years. And he always joked like, that really wasn't true. I wasn't coming for 3 months. I'm like, oh, that's the story I've always told. I kind of like that one, but you ruined it by telling me the truth.
I was talking to a guy this week that I didn't know. I just saw him as we started talking stuff, and he was saying, "Oh, well, yeah, it's my anniversary this week, and I got to find something for my wife." So I told him my story about my anniversary thing. I'd never seen anybody laugh so much from one joke. It was just amazing. I said to him, "Don't do what I did." He goes, "What's that?" I says, For the 44th anniversary, I didn't do anything special. You can't do it every year, so I didn't do anything. But my wife was really disappointed. I could tell that. So I said, "Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. For the 45th, I'm going to bring it. I'm going to send you. I'm going to bring it to Italy. I'm going to take you to Italy." She goes, "Oh, that's awesome. I always wanted to go to Italy." I said, "Yeah." And then for the 50th, I'm going to go back there and see if you're still there. The guy was just dying laughing at that. Wow.
Oh, that is funny.
Funny stuff, isn't it?
Oh, amazing.
That was a triple.
My timing on that was outstanding. I'm not sure what the satellites did with the internet and etc. But
Oh,
um, oh,
so,
satellite. That's remind. Oh, so Did I tell you about this comedian I found on YouTube, Nate Bargatze? You gotta check this guy out. Nate Bargtze. He's really, really funny. I was listening to I was at a conference, and the keynote speaker was a guy named Patrick Lencioni, who's written a lot of books on teams, and he wrote a great book called The Five Dysfunctions of a Team, and it's written in a novel form. So he was a speaker, and he's got a podcast. And so I started listening to the podcast, and he happened to mention his favorite comedian. I'm like, well, that got my attention. So let me go check this guy out. This guy's really funny. I'll text you his name. I'll check him out on YouTube. You'll enjoy him. He's the kind of comedian for me. He's just clever. And when he says something, you're laughing and you're like, come on, I didn't think of that. It's just like, it's just a little twist on our regular stuff. And it's hysterical.
I ran into a video on YouTube with a comedian. I think his name is Andrew Scholes.
Hmm.
And I've watched a bunch of his videos. The thing that's interesting about him, to me anyway, is he doesn't really go up there and do a comedy routine. He talks to the crowd,
Interesting.
but then he says, "Where are you from?" And he says, "Oh," so then he picks on everybody, but he doesn't know why that's so funny, and he knows all kinds of stuff, people from different countries, and that he says, "Well, I'm from the Middle East."